Hello and welcome to today's webinar, which is looking at all the new features on our 2Publish and 2Publish Plus tools. We'll go straight in to begin with and look at the tools themselves and how you might want to use them straight out of the box as blank templates. And then the second part of the session, we'll look at how you might want to adapt themed templates that have already been created. So both 2Publish and 2Publish Plus have had changes recently to allow for enhanced interactivity and options for both teachers and pupils. Whichever document style you are opting to open, I'm just going to go for a blank newspaper here. I'm going to open it up, and because I'm logged on as a teacher, you'll notice that the options that I'm seeing now are presently in the teacher view mode. What's really useful is you as a teacher can flit between seeing things from your perspective and making alterations to settings and views. And then when you've made your selections, you can slide the slider across and see how children will view the options when they open it from their end. Now, there's a whole host of different options for you to choose from as a teacher. Firstly, it's really useful to recognise that just like in our old version of 2Publish, you can include optional extras such as think about boxes, checklists and clipart. You might not want any of these on the document at all. In doing so, you can just unselect the options from the top and then just choose the ones that you want to include. And you'll see that the screen will automatically place them at either side of the main document. I'm just going to remove these now because we'll focus on the actual body of the text template. Now this is a newspaper template I've opened and you'll see it's a blank one. So we've got pretty much everything is blank ready for us to change. The new layout allows for children to zoom in and focus on a particular text or image box at a time. You'll notice there are little padlocked icons here. That means that the position of these boxes are fixed. We can, of course, change these to allow children or staff to move them around to suit the purpose. When any box is selected, you'll notice that it will automatically zoom in on that box so that children will be able to focus on the content and make the relevant changes to the font, the text, the colour, and so on. Here, if I was going to change this to 2Simple today, then you'll notice that I can change the colour of the actual box by choosing from the palette here, and I can have the opacity slider make it more or less bold. When you click on the space around the document, you'll notice that automatically it will zoom out, and then children can navigate to the different areas of the text that they want to. If I wanted to change the font style, the font size, I've got my options up at the top just like in the previous version. So I can add bold, italic, underlined, I can change the position and the alignment of the text, and I can change the size and the font family as well. If you'd like the outline colour of any text boxes to be changed, then you can click on this icon here. And you can choose different dots and dashes or solid lines, how thick the lines are, and you'll see that as you slide them across you get automatic updates behind, so you can see immediately the impact and the changes that you've made, and children can obviously change them as often or as much as they like. Now what's really useful is if you are wanting to either remove or change the position of any of these boxes, you can simply just click on the padlock icon at the top and you can choose to uncheck the position and resize lock, which will allow you to either move, resize, or you can reposition the boxes and place them elsewhere within the document if you need to. Obviously, you can also use the rubbish bin icon and you can remove them altogether from the document. One particularly useful thing that especially in Key Stage 2, you want to give the children more flexibility and freedom to create their own content and to add their own effects into a document, is you can use this customise option on the top left. If I slide over to the child's view, you'll see that at present, children can drag in a text box and they can resize it, they can reposition it, they can fill it with text, colour and so on, place it behind or in front of the other boxes, and they can also do the same with an image box as well. If they wanted to add the image, they can use the drawing tools on the left, and they can also add an image from either within Purple Mash, or they can upload a file that you might have saved elsewhere on your device. What's particularly useful is if teachers want to give children a little bit more creativity. When you're in teacher mode, you can customize these options in the top corner. By selecting this, you'll see the different options that you can choose from. At present, we've got the text box and image box selected, but if you want children to be able to add sound clips into their document, they can do. If you want them to be able to add post-it notes, speech bubbles, images, shapes, and paint a letter, you can choose whichever ones are relevant to the outcome that you want the children to create for this particular activity. So, for example, if you wanted children to add sound bites, they can drag in the little audio clip icon and then they can choose the sound they want to add. If they click on this icon, they can either choose from the different sound effects that we have within the Purple Mash sound library, or they can upload a pre-recorded sound clip, or they can record their own straight into the document if they wish. Obviously, you can customize this top panel as to make it most relevant for what you want the children to do for this activity. As always, if children want to make any changes or maybe they're not happy with what it is that they've added, they can remove it completely from the document. Now, this is a plain template that we've chosen to use today. If we're writing a newspaper report, I might want to add a checklist so I can make sure the children are referring to the different objectives that they need to include. You'll see because this is a blank document, the checklist is empty. You can either add your own one by one by clicking on the plus button and give them checklists via text and verbally. Or you might want to actually open a previously created checklist that you've used in other documents. You can click on the Open Checklist option and find them from wherever you've saved it. What I'm going to do today, though, is I'm going to open a preset one. I think these are particularly useful because they filter into the different key stage and subject areas, and then you can further tweak them to make them most appropriate. For example, this could just be a generic Key Stage 2 checklist. If I click on the tick box, you'll see here, these are the checklist items that are included. Obviously, you can add and remove your own should you want to. You'll notice on the left, we do have options for checklists, whether your children are writing for different areas such as science, history and geography. If I select OK, you'll see it's now populated with these checklists, and if I want to, I can click through and add audio sound bites if some of my children might need it. I can add further tips as well, and I can actually edit the titles and the tips that have been pre-created. I can also remove any checklist tips that I don't want included, and I can manually add my own as well. A really useful tip is if there's a checklist that you think you will use in quite a lot of documents, really recommend saving it and then you can import it into other documents in the future, and it just saves you a lot of time. Obviously, if you want to save that to the staff folder as well, then your colleagues could include that in their writing templates as well, should they want to. Same for the Think About box. These are writing prompts that are particularly helpful because they provide children with sentence starters as well that they can help use. You can add your own, just like within the checklist area. You can give a title. So, when did the event, excuse my typing, because if this is a newspaper report, then the children will be reporting on a particular event. So I might put on Monday, 1st November And this text to send will be that when the children have had a look at the think about, if they are struggling to be able to add this and generate their own ideas, they can use your text to send and it will start writing the sentence for them. If I go into child view mode now, you'll see that if the child clicks on a text box, they can select add this to text and it will start writing the sentence so they can then carry on from there. Going back to teacher view now, if I want to focus on the main part of the text, so let's just remove this think about box for now. If I wanted to add any clip art for the children to be able to use in their document, what I can do is I can select which particular area of the clip art library I want them to use. Say, for example, in this case, if it was all about their recounting an event from history, I can choose this and I can lock that clip art selection. So when children are in this area, they can just see the clip art that I've selected for them. Okay, going back to teacher view now. Obviously, if you want to add as many or as few of the different options to add onto the screen, that's completely up to you and the task the children are completing. But for example, this layout, you've noticed that I've removed a box or two and have added, and it can get a little bit skew-iffed. What's really useful is that from a teacher's viewpoint only, you can switch on the grid. This is just designed so that you can select and move around the boxes just to make them a little bit more, symmetrical, make sure they're fitting. Obviously, this one's got a padlock on it, so if I did want to move it, I would need to unlock this particular box so I can reposition and resize it. Now that I have, I can obviously use the grid to see whereabouts, I can match it up to the different lines within the rest of the document to make it look a little bit more, a little bit more in line with everything there. So the grid is just useful for you really to make things look nice and perpendicular and make sure things are ordered just as you would like them. If you would like your document to have more than one page, quite simply you can click on this icon that says add page and it will add another one. Obviously you will be able to unlock and move and resize the boxes should you wish. What's really useful as well is I really like this option. It's the background settings. So obviously most newspapers are plain black and white. However, if you are making maybe a topic-based resource that you want to use with the children, or you just want to maybe make it a little bit more bright and engaging, you can change the background of each of the documents within 2Publish. So you can either have it as an image, and if I click the set image option, you'll be taken through to the Purple Mash background stock images that you can use. Children can paint their own if they're feeling creative, or if you're feeling creative as well, you can create them. Or they can use the inbuilt camera on their device to take a photo, or they can upload an image from another document or where else they've saved it. If they're on an iPad, for example, they might want to just get it from their camera roll as well. So for example, if we were doing this newspaper report about the Great Fire of London, then we can add that into the back of the image. I can choose as to the opacity level of it, darker, lighter, a little bit more subtle. I can choose as well, the padding is essentially just the border around the edges. So if you are printing things off, obviously this might help just save a little bit of printer ink. You'll notice the larger the number, the bigger the white space around. And obviously you can clear it all together and restart, make changes should you want to. Okay. But for you as a teacher to be able to get everything sorted, get everything ready in the way that you want the children to be able to access the task with the right level of challenge, then for you, if you are wanting to make changes to a blank document and then give it to the children, you would need to save it first in order to then share it as a to-do or via any other options. If I wanted to share it now, it would prompt me automatically to save my work. So I'm just going to save this as a 2Publish file, and now that I've saved it, I can either share it via a QR code, a web link, or an embed code, set it as a to-do, send it as an email attachment within Purple Mash, or I can add it to a display board. So they're most common ways of sharing work with the children. What's particularly useful is it doesn't just have to be work that's completed by children on the computer. If you do want to set this out as a writing framework and then print it, and then the children can handwrite and draw their own images in the boxes. Okay, so lots of different ways in which you might want to just use the features within 2Publish and 2Publish Plus to get the right level of challenge and the right layout and functionality within each of the documents. Really recommend whenever you see these little film reel icons within Purple Mash tools, these will give you really handy guidance. Very small, like never more than a couple of minutes long video guidance, just showing you how you can use the various different features within these. So these have just been updated with our new Purple Mash 2Publish features. Now, should you want to use the 2Publish tools as part of some topic-based work and actually make use of the fact that they've been pre-populated with images and topic-based objectives, then you can search for the particular resource you're looking for. So, for example, if I wanted to look at the Greeks and we're doing all about ancient Greek food, I can open up this resource and I should find we've got a bit of an introductory page here. But you'll notice the clipart images have already been selected to make it relevant. This document's all about ancient Greek food, so we've got some images of food. You'll also find the background has been altered as well, and the Think About boxes have quite helpfully got some pre-created Think About prompts here that come with their own writing tips, and really helpfully they've got their own sentence starters that children can send straight to the document. I personally really like using the pre-made templates because a lot of the work is done for you, and then you can obviously then change and customize things to suit the level of challenge that your children in your class require. Obviously, if you do want to use any of the checklists, again, if you click on the checklist, you can add a pre-made one. This being about ancient Greeks, then this would be Key Stage 2 Geography, for example, and you'll see here we've got some generic checklists that I can then amend, edit, remove or add my own. What's particularly useful as well is that, should children want to add maybe images, you might have had it in this instance, maybe the children have tried and selected some Greek food in class and there might be some images that you want to add. I particularly like adding your own clip art to your picture bank within a document. So you can do that by clicking on the plus icon at the bottom. And if you have taken photos on an iPad, the Choose File option will take you to your camera roll, or if you're on a laptop or desktop, the Choose File area will take you to your document library if you select from My PC. And this will help you add photograph images within the 2Publish document that the children can then use as well. If a pre-created 2Publish template has options in the customize area that aren't necessary for your children to interact with, then just simply click on the customize icon and just deselect the ones that you don't want them to be able to add. So in this case, it might be that you just want them to be able to add sound bites. So if I add that now, you'll just notice that when I go to child view, that's the only option that children can actually add into the document. Okay, so just because something is preset with a particular level of access, you can always add or remove as to make it the most appropriate level of challenge for your children. Now, I mentioned before that we do have the help videos in the top. These are really, really useful should you want to just further understand how you can manipulate the different areas within 2Publish. Just to mention that they are also found within the 2Publish and 2Publish Plus tools. So whichever one you're in, if you open it up, you can find that we've got our video guidance here for you to have a look at. As you can see, we've got a whole range of 2Publish templates for you to use in a variety of ways across the curriculum. So we hope that you really find the new changes to 2Publish exciting, and I'm sure the children will really enjoy adding images, text, sound, and a whole host of different other content within their writing activities. Thanks ever so much for attending today's Purple Mash webinar. All the best and happy Purple Mashing.